Oh, Yellow Jackets. How I missed you. I remembered that I liked it.
You didn't remember how much?
Yeah, I forgot. Well, it's an intense show.
Yeah.
It's a challenging show. And so there was a little part of me that was kind of like, ugh, I don't know if I'm ready to go back to this world. And I forgot the sense of humor.
It's funny enough.
It's so funny.
Okay, here's the thing, is I could have accepted literally everything in this episode times 10 if we still had that jump scare of Jeff listening to Papa Roach in the car. Fantastic. 10 out of 10, no notes.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristin.
And this is So I'm Watching Yellowjackets, Season 2, Episode 1.
Friends,
Fortune favors the brave.
Friends, Romans, Countrymen.
Ah! Lend me your ear.
Yeah.
It works on a literal animal.
Two levels.
Oh boy, a lot happened. Well, we did start with Jeff. Okay. So for our present day storyline, it's been 12 hours. 24 at most.
Very few.
But it's been 2 months in the flashback. That threw me off a little bit, but...
And we got our first glimpse of the rescue.
Yes.
Lottie specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot. So you just rewatched it with Will, so it's probably fresher for you. I'm still remembering things. I had forgotten that Lottie was kind of maybe magic just innately.
A little,
and it wasn't part of this.
She's psychic.
Yeah.
Ish.
Which is one of the things we talked a little bit about it in our season 1 coverage, but this is a little bit of a fascinating show because we cannot get our feet firmly on the ground as to what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because there's natural and then there's supernatural. And then there's a handful of things that can exist in both.
Yeah.
And we don't psychic a psychic premonition is the kind of thing that could exist in a natural story. Another one I would say is a ghost. Ghosts could exist more plausibly in a very straightforward naturalistic story than say a unicorn or a dragon.
Yeah.
And so with this show, we're in natural and this middle ground.
We haven't breached all the way to supernatural.
But there's enough in this middle ground happening.
For sure.
That it's fascinating. And I would be curious if that is once we get, because I think that they said there's going to be about 5 seasons. That's the plan.
They have planned for 5 seasons, and I believe it's already picked up for a 3rd.
Okay. I would be curious if once all is said and done, if the exploration of genre in that way is one of the things the show was intending to
potentially
to do.
Sure. Yeah.
Shauna and Jeff are still reeling from
there being no book club.
Okay. I love Jeff. I like Shauna. I think she's a great quote unquote lead. This is an ensemble, but she's our de facto lead.
Look, I'm not arguing that she's not cracking up in the past and present.
Well, it's a role you don't get a lot from women.
And Melanie Lynskey is knocking it out of the park, as is Sophie Nélisse. She's doing great as well.
It's not that she's an unreliable narrator, but there's something, little crackers about her in ways that both Melanie and Shauna, 80% of the time, play her very straightforward. They play her very what you would expect for that type of girl. But then there's something that's
But it's also, because she's very similar to the way that Christina Ricci is playing Misty to me in that way. Because Misty's more upfront about it, but she does put on this very sunny and bubbly personality until she's threatening the motel guy with his full social security number.
That was so funny.
In the perkiest little voice.
But that's the type of character. What I'm saying is, that's the kind of character that is more common.
Misty is, yes.
Misty. Yeah. The Shauna, it's just, you don't have a lot of mild-mannered, straightforward female leads who maybe would decide to eat their friend's ear.
What a shot to go out on.
I really didn't mean to go straight there, but you know, there's just something about her, and it's like Jeff. He's just he's in over his head.
But I feel like he's not, until he starts listening to Papa Roach, I feel like he didn't fully realize how over his head he was.
I think this episode he's realizing he's in over his head.
Okay, let's be real. Everybody's been over their head because Adam had approximately 4,000 paintings of Shauna. They were sleeping together for like 3 weeks, maybe. Dude. Obsessed? Question mark?
But he's just like, Jeff is trying his best. And like, if he can exist in his own reality, he's fine. We'll go with. But they're not done with this thing.
Okay, for sure. And here's the thing about Jeff that I actually find one of the most fascinating things about his character is that, like, when Shauna is having that conversation with Jackie in the meat shed at the beginning with Jackie's corpse, because she's keeping her in the meat shed. And she's talking about, they're playing MASH, and she's like, you're going to be a stay-at-home mom with Jeff, and like, blah, 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 whatever. And she goes, oh, great, I'm my mom. She had bigger aspirations. She was going to go to Brown. She was going to be smart and like do stuff. And I don't think Jeff ever thought beyond what he's doing now. I think Jeff is totally content until he trips and remembers, oh shit, my wife killed someone and I tried to blackmail her and her friends. And then, but he's like just tripping along fantastically until then.
But he's trying to pretend that it's over, that it's done, which is more so denial.
Yeah.
But it's still very much in play.
Yeah.
She's like remembering Adam had like an art studio.
And Misty is like faking police interrogations with her.
We still don't know what happened with the reporter. What was her name?
I assume she's dead.
Okay, well, so then there's a dead woman in the front yard, like several.
I mean, a couple streets over.
One max.
No, I know.
I refuse to believe that story's over.
No, I don't think that story's over. I would also be surprised if she was actually dead.
Yeah, she's not dead.
I mean, she got a couple puffs of that cigarette, but it was full of fentanyl.
Yeah, she's not dead. I don't believe Javi is dead. And if he is, it's at service of a greater theme or plot, a la What's-Her-Face from season 2 of The Walking Dead. Spoilers for Walking Dead. What was her name? Sophie or something?
Oh, the little girl. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Where it's like the whole time they were looking for her, and it's like, oh, just kidding, she's dead.
She's been here the whole time.
Because I know it's been 2 months. When last we saw him at the homecoming dance, was it Shauna or Jackie or Natalie that told him to run? One of them told him to run.
Javi?
Yeah.
Is Shauna.
Was like, run, and he did, and we just haven't seen him since.
Yeah. Well, and then Nat was, when Lottie touched Travis, he was having visions of that tree stump where they started doing the ceremonies, the like ceremonial stuff at the very end. I thought
he was remembering that. That was Lottie.
It could go, I think.
Picking up on.
No, I think she was unintentionally passing something through him.
Oh, okay.
And then also when he and Nat were out hunting / looking for Javi at the very end of the episode, there was like a tree stump that was like warmer. There must be hot springs or something somewhere. So there were tree stumps that were warmer, and she was like, that's really weird because there was no snow around and it was wet.
What I took from that was that someone had disturbed it, but I like your version better.
There has to be some sort. I mean, it's mountains. There could be a hot spring somewhere.
I like that.
Yeah. And so she and Travis are also going around making maps, essentially, for Coach. I guess not for him, but she's like doing it anyway.
The three of them seem to have organized that, which is one of the more practical things, especially for long-term
survival. Yeah. So they're like going. It's like about roughly 7 miles in every direction.
So we did mention that teen Shauna has Jackie in the meat locker. And is spending hours a day, days at a time in there. And all of the other girls know. And they think it's weird, but I don't think they think it's weird enough.
Yeah, well, they also were like, so again, we know that it's been 2 months. They know that it's been 2 months. And they're like, she's but one of them was like, she just needs time. And I was like, is 2 months not enough time? And they're like, she's just grieving. And I was like, this has gone well beyond grieving.
Well, to go back to what we were saying about Shauna, and especially like Shauna versus Misty, is like Misty behaves somewhat unhinged.
Yeah.
Shauna doesn't.
Yeah.
And so when she unhinges, it's more, it takes you aback more.
Yeah.
Or it makes it feel like I'm sort of like, I'm like, is she normal and just occasionally unhinges? Or is she just always unhinged?
So that you don't realize when something snatches out of the door.
Idea. But yeah, because I forget why she knocked over
They were
Jackie.
like fighting.
I mean, I was glad to see Ella Purnell.
Same.
I was a Jackie. I was on Jackie's side.
I liked Jackie a real lot, but Shauna is my girl, and she is
that's fine.
At
I
least
like Shauna.
Playing by the rules of this new society.
That's fine. There was like rumors that maybe Jackie hadn't died or yada yada. As much as I miss Ella, and methinks we might see her throughout the show.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I do stand by that decision to kill her then that way and to have this playing out the way that it is.
Yeah.
And just the notion of, because she knocks the body over, the ear breaks off.
Yeah, she is well frozen.
Oh, yeah. 2 months. And then Shauna carries it around, and then, but it was very, like, compulsively eats it. Like, it wasn't like...
impulsively.
There you go.
Well, it did feel like she was compelled by something to do it. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like she was thinking about it all day, and it wasn't one of those things where they mentioned they were hungry, but it didn't feel like a survival thing.
Yeah, she just had to cut rations again.
And it just, there was something about it that I think it's, me and you and Rachel and the three of us and stuff, we talk a lot about girl relationships and girl dynamics and stuff, and it just feels like sort of, it feels akin to Jennifer's body. Like maybe a step in between, like not like a
not
step
all
before.
The way there,
I don't know, but there's just something about that like toxic best friendship. And it's like, because Rachel says all the time, you don't know whether you want to like fight her or kiss her. And it's like, and then, or maybe eat her. Maybe she's with you forever.
All three. She's in your baby.
I don't know. There was a lot of blood magic happening, a lot of blood rites happening.
Yeah, before Nat and Travis left, Lottie made them put their blood in like a tea, and then she put ashes on their palms, and
Kristin,
and then she drew the thing on the window. The
Christian Science notwithstanding, I'm a little bit on Lottie's side with this stuff, because they like Travis and Natalie kind of scoffed at it.
Well, mostly Natalie. Travis, that's what I said that out there. I was like, I find it really fascinating which of the survivors are like Team Lottie, because like Travis was like perfectly willing to go along with it, and then Nat was the one who was like, this shit isn't even working, we haven't found anything, and Lottie was like, well, you're making it back alive
because you're still here.
I was like, okay,
I promise that I will not say this 1,000 times, but none of this would have ever happened under Laura Lee's watch.
it's true, you're right, it's
and
true.
If I feel robbed of anything, I am so curious to see where Laura Lee would have come down
on
in the fanaticism.
Yeah.
Because I think there's cases to be made for multiple outcomes. I think she could have easily been, I think she could have been Lottie's right hand.
Yeah.
I think she could have played White Queen to Lottie's Red Queen.
Yeah.
I think she could, I don't know. There's so many things. So that's just that's my 2 cents there. Lottie in present day, it feels, I don't know the actress.
Simone Kessel?
We haven't had a lot of time with her, so I haven't warmed up to, or like developed an affinity for her. I do kind of wish it was a stunt. I wish it was like Carla Gugino or Lena Headey or something.
Well, we're getting 2 stunts. We're getting an Elijah Wood stunt, and we're getting a Van stunt. So,
but she is running a cult proper.
Okay, but like, she's got the aesthetics down. I would join.
I mean, that is often the case.
Yeah, well, a lot of times cults are just wearing like white linen robes, but everyone is wearing different shades of purple except for her, who's in this beautiful goldenrod yellow color.
And the like hair to one side with the dangling earrings.
Please.
And we haven't gotten, because I already mentioned the Christian Science aspect of it, which is there is no sickness or wrong in the world. Those are all internal that you manifest from yourself. We have yet to see how fanatical they are. The guess is a lot because they kidnapped Natalie and chained her to the bed. Granted, that guard was correct. Natalie was a danger to herself.
Well,
she was going to kill herself.
Well, I mean, do you not think maybe Natalie has suffered enough?
Misty's not done with her. So
that's true. Misty is super not done with her.
In more ways than one, by the grace of Misty, are we here. But so she was able to escape by stabbing the woman with a fork. So it's like, I mean, danger. This show,
yes, Natalie is dangerous.
But I'm saying the show has a pretty masterful grasp on keeping the stakes meaty.
Sure,
like. Because it's like,
so meaty.
She hurt that woman, you know? And so it's like...
She got her all the way through the hand so much that it scratched her on the cheek.
Yeah. And she was running through the woods again, which, I mean, I'd be suicidal too if I was...
Constantly running through the woods in pleather pants and heels.
that blousey,
blousey
tunic.
Thing, yeah.
But she came across the cult doing rites where, peep count, we got
peep
one.
Peep count one. It was not Jeff.
it may not have been what was wanted, but it was what was needed. What's that quote from Marie Antoinette? You
are not what was intended, but it makes you no less dear to me.
Was desired.
Desired.
It was not what was desired.
Yeah.
But and so this man gets in the ground and they were
start burying him.
Yeah, they were burying him. But again,
like,
who's
is
to
it
say
like
if they
forever?
Were
or like 20 minutes?
I mean, this like baptism could look barbaric from doing outside.
I'm gonna drown you.
Lottie was not phased. Oh, also, it seems Lottie also, several of these girls never stood a chance.
No, her parents are trash. They were.
It was very, we tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
So the reason that she's like this again in the flashbacks is because she ran out of her like antipsychotic pills because they thought she was just bipolar because she could like see things and her parents do not have time for that. pull the inventing Anna. But they were, again, in this one, it's like she hasn't spoken since she's been back. Well, she's been through a severe trauma for the last 18 months. Don't talk to her.
And then was met with 1998 paparazzi.
Yeah. But it's like, don't talk to her. Let's go immediately to electroshock therapy in the year 1998. Well past when we know that doesn't work.
There's still just so much.
Because we haven't even touched Taissa. Yeah.
She still is having her night terrors in the past and present.
Yeah, and somehow Van is the one being tied up.
Well, they're tying
to each other. Okay. So that she can't go outside.
And Van had like bad like rope burns, to which I was like, well, then put a fabric down. And then
put it
I don't know
over your jacket.
It's fine. It's weird.
it's definitely weird. I'm not sure about Taissa. Also, God, that scene with her wife was. Like, first of all,
it shocked us. That's when we realized it had only been like 12 hours.
Yeah. She goes off the deep end and just goes to pick another random dog. A random poor little Yorkie. Sure to be skewered in a matter of days.
I gotta say, we don't love animal violence, and especially to pet dogs. But there's something about the show grabbing it by the horns.
Yeah.
That makes it. That earns it. The fact that scene of Shauna when she finds Biscuit's head.
Yeah.
With
Taissa.
Yeah. Sorry. With Stevie. And she's just sort of like, I'll never do this to you. And it's like the fact that the show's leaning into that element is why it works.
And also, Stevie was having a very Molly, you in danger girl moment. Stevie was like,
he's like a little Yorkie looking, but it's because of course that's what
look upon the head of your fallen brethren.
That's what we, the audience, are concerned about. But the fact that the show acknowledged it in world, because I am worried. I don't think something else is going to happen.
Well, she also just the way she phrased it, she said, "I'm going to do better with you."
By you, like this was just like an understandable, And I mean, when your previous pet,
so
a thing that has lived with you, head is decapitated, that's not a mistake.
No, and
that's not
it's not like he got run over by a car.
Yeah, or like accidents happen. Yeah. That's not an accident.
No. And that's the thing too, is like, so she tries to go pick up Sammy from school, and Simone is like, get the fuck away from him in the middle of the parking lot, which hysterical. And then she's like, the
dog head didn't get communicated. Like,
no, she said you need to take care of your situation in the basement.
So Taissa's like, what could that mean?
But then when she gets down there, she's not surprised enough. I don't think she was surprised enough.
I mean, it wasn't like this again, but it was sort of like, oh, Taissa.
Oh no.
Like, it was like she had fallen off the wagon.
Well, yeah, because she knew she had been eating dirt again, but I think she didn't realize how far it had escalated.
I don't think she's processing this stuff.
Well, and that's because she is very not on Team Lottie. And I sort of feel like perhaps if she had embraced Team Lottie, we might not be having these recurring issues.
Woof.
Yeah. I think that's mostly it.
We got the intro to, no, there's like 2 or 3 more things we need to do. We got the intro to Elijah Wood.
Yeah, just a voice.
Misty is very smartly monitoring the Reddit boards.
You know what? Misty's doing amazing, sweetie.
We all should be so lucky.
We should all have a Misty. She's doing amazing.
She's monitoring the Reddit boards because in this day and age, civilians solve crimes and they make Netflix docuseries about it once the law catches up. And so she's trying to stay ahead by downvoting accurate fan theories to these crimes.
Also, Elijah Wood seems like he's going to be insufferable because he was writing his post on the Citizen Detective board as a telegram. I can't.
We started with Shauna and Jeff, and I didn't fully finish. So they've decided they trashed the paintings that Alex, was that his name? Adam did. They trashed the paintings Adam did.
Which bummer, because a couple of them were beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know that I trust in either of their ability to have fully handled that. I think those paintings could be recovered or they seem to do a very slapdash job of it.
Turpentine?
She just kind of smeared it on the one, and then they had sex, and it's just sort of like, eh.
They had pretty rough sex after Shauna admitted that she has a kink where she likes to think about Jeff having sex with other people. But also, I just think having sex and the possibility of bodily fluids being found in this place is not great.
And furthermore, they just sort of went there and then smeared turpentine on a couple of them and left. And so I'm just saying, Misty wasn't there. I don't believe they did a clean sweep.
It's not airtight.
And so they come home and then burn what remaining evidence they have. Show has
sort of.
You did laugh out loud how perfectly
it was comical because she has his driver's license, and comically just the picture is remaining. Just the picture part of his driver's license is remaining for Callie to find the next day.
The show is masterful enough. It's handled so well in so many places that I will allow it to have I'll allow it to take me on the journey it wants to take me on. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I hate Callie and this Callie story. I'm going to trust that it's going somewhere.
I liked part of it in season 1.
As of this point, they're just doubling down on her being terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if there's a reason why. Like, she's just...
Well, she knew about the affair.
Yeah, okay, but it's dealt with.
That's the thing for me, too, is in this episode, she was like, Dad needs to know what's going on. And Shauna was like, I told him everything. And then she was like, I can't believe you'd be so selfish. And then ran out of the room.
She has cop that knows something's up but can't connect the dots yet with her mom. Like, it's like, who was the cop from Dexter? Surprise.
She saw Dokes.
Yeah.
She saw Adam though. She knows what he looks like. So when he was on the news, she was
But
like,
even before that, she knows her mom's guilty. She just hasn't figured out of what yet, and she is hell-bent on making sure that her mother pays for it.
I'm gonna disagree with you because they had reached a level of peace before the news story about Adam came out, and then she was like, "You killed your boyfriend." Like, what the hell?
Okay.
So she is guilty, and she knows it, and the proof is right there in front of her.
Well, then take it to the police, Callie.
Yeah, that's like
your life will be better then.
Well, no, because
she was awful to her boyfriend, who was like not.
He wasn't doing anything. He was just.
And she's not even funny. Like you might, if you're a fan of the show, you might be like, "Well, Will, you like bitches?" No, I like.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I was gonna say something. Well, that was because when she got caught going out downtown, she got totally dressed down by Shauna. Because she was like, I'm going to tell dad about your boyfriend. And then what? And she's like, I'll tell you what. We're going to get divorced. And you're going to be hanging out with me on the weekends. Because there's nothing sadder and more time consuming than that. And then you're going to go to your dad's sad apartment where you know he cries on the couch. I mean, it was fantastic. Oh, Misty still isn't allowed in the food.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Seems fair.
But they're like also making her do the water and everything, and
she's doing with her bare hands, and I just don't believe that they couldn't have fashioned some type of scoop.
Well, sure. And then she made a friend named Crystal, who I think is where she's getting her show tune love in present day from.
Does she? I forgot that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like
Crystal was very deliberate.
Yeah.
Multiple characters.
We got a couple new because she was new, and there was I think one more. Was it Lisa? There were a couple of new people, like girls, that we hadn't focused on before.
Okay, if there was anything else we forgot, and we'll cover it when it becomes important next week.
Yeah.
And other than that, please like and subscribe. You can head on over to Patreon at patreon.com/soimwatching if you want to help support the channel, help us keep the lights on, and watch us watch some shows.
Yeah.
And exclusive content and all that. We have a Cashapp and a Venmo if you want a tip or any of that fun stuff. We have a website where you can go check out the back catalog of audio only and all that stuff. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you back next week.
Bye.
So return, please return, please return.